Good morning.
Hi.
We are so glad to be back with all of you. We're actually recording this episode early because right now we're on a little getaway just to relax and not do nothing.
I'm excited.
We not doing nothing. So, spending a couple days with some friends of ours, Faith and Ryan, just kind of hanging out at the pool, the beach, relaxing. So, we're coming to you early this week. Even though you don't know it's early, it is Friday.
Yeah.
Friday.
I know, I can't hear that without hearing
Rebecca
that song.
Black. That was popular.
Yeah. Oh, we need to play that today for Family Day. We're having Family Day as soon as this is over. We let the girls sleep in, and then we'll have Family Day after this.
Yep. Gonna go watch Mission Impossible, probably go to the beach, do a little shopping. Our girls have a volleyball thing coming up, and they want to purchase some stuff for volleyball, knee pads and shoes and all that.
Yep.
So we've got that coming up. Things are going well. We've had quite a few paint jobs, so we've been busy with that. As you can tell, this one's tired over here. We got 3 different paint jobs going on at the same time. So finish those up probably by tomorrow. All 3 should be done.
That's the goal. Yeah.
So that'd be nice.
So.
Get all 3 finished up, and that way we can pay our bills. So that's always nice.
Yeah. Pay for the getaway that we're on right now.
Yeah. That's been the motivation to get the jobs done. Is like, yeah, we're going away soon and we need to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
we'll skip sleep.
But hopefully you're having a great time. Hey, you need to plan your own getaway.
Yes.
Spend some time, just you and your spouse, getting away, enjoying life, your relationship, getting refreshed and re-energized.
Yep.
We try to do it every so often, every 3 or 4 months or whatever, just to try to get away. That's
important.
The goal. Doesn't always happen that often, but that is the goal, just to spend a little bit of time together. The craziness of life. So, you just went the other day with Isabella up to St. Augustine, right?
I did, yes. It was so weird. So in St. Augustine is Flagler College, which is where our second daughter, Isabella, is going to school this fall for the first time. She's leaving home, and oh my goodness, I was so emotional. I'm like so happy. Like I can see the joy on her face. Now she's got some anxiety mixed in there too, but such joy on her face. Like she is excited to start this new adventure.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for her. I'm so proud of her. She's saving her money. In our family, they pay for college. We help if we can or when we choose to. But ultimately, she's paying for her own college, so she's working and saving over the summer. And she's just doing great. And I'm really proud of her, but it was really sad. Got to see her dorm and just talk to like the financial people, the admissions people, getting everything, all of our boxes checked. But we're doing good. They actually said we're way ahead of everything. So
yeah, and I talked to her for a little bit when she got back, just check on her, see how everything went. She was very excited. So I'm happy for that, but I'm kind of a little emotional. So we're feeling it for those of you parents that are sending kids out for the very first time. We'll let you know how we're actually doing as the school year approaches and she actually leaves. So let's see. Today, we're going to be talking about family mission statement. Mm-hmm. So what that looks like. Many businesses, organizations, churches have a mission statement. And there are families that do it too. And I think that's kind of an interesting idea. And so we're going to take some time to talk about it a little bit, give you some advice for how you can craft your own. And then we're going to spend a little bit of time on the episode just kind of talking it out and crafting it for ourselves. So
sounds great.
Let's get going.
Let's do it.
Gather round, everybody. It's time for a family meeting. The Family Meeting is a show that's all about family relationships. We're the Osterkamps. I'm Thomas, and this is my amazing, beautiful, very sleepy wife, Lysandra.
Hello, and welcome to our family. Welcome to episode 245 of the Family Meeting Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to discuss having a family mission statement. Who are we? What's important to us? What are we all about? We want to talk about why to have a mission statement, what are the elements that you want to think about, and then at the end of this episode, we are going to create our own mission statement for our family.
We're going to try. we'll see how it goes.
We're going to at least get it to a certain point, and then we're going to bring our kids in on it too. But
yeah. Before we jump into that, though, last week's episode has been bringing up a little bit of conversation. So
it has, yeah.
We were talking about sex myths last time we were together.
Yeah, and it still makes me uncomfortable. Even like sometimes like people commenting on it, and I love the things that people are commenting. It's really interesting. But like our friend commented about how awkward I am.
Yeah, so we'll read that in just a second here.
Sorry.
But of course we post reels and whatever else to encourage people to go check out the full episode. And on reel just a day or two ago, he was talking about the myth about getting pregnant while you're nursing.
Yeah.
And so Renee Boyd says 100% with 4 exclamation points. Happened with my baby number 1 and 2. But we knew that and made our decision understanding that. 20 years ago, John's sister had 2 boys, 11 months apart. So yeah, totally possible.
Yes.
So they have experienced that in their family. And I commented under that. I said, I have a theory that it actually causes pregnancy. I'm pretty sure it does.
If you're trying to get pregnant, nurse that other baby.
Yeah. So Jess Lemcool, he says, he's got the receipts that this is a myth.
Yeah. The receipts are the children.
Yeah. The 3 children that followed. Carla DeBose says this. This is funny. She actually dropped this comment in this morning. It took one look and I was pregnant 7 times over. So
yeah.
Her and Troy have an absolute house full. So
yeah.
Let me go over and find that the comment that was made here on the YouTube post in the group. So Robert Hall says this. Great episode. Love super awkward and uncomfortable Lysandra Osterkamp.
I do get super uncomfortable and awkward. I try not to, but I can't help it.
Yeah.
It's there.
So he says, one tip that I didn't hear you guys touch on that I feel is super important. Knowing or learning your spouse's love language. Mm-hmm. This absolutely changed my marriage. Obviously, total honesty, faithfulness, and open communication are key. But knowing their love language and understanding what that means is super helpful.
Yeah, I second that 100%.
Yeah.
Great comment.
Great advice from Robert Hall. And just curious what, he didn't share what the love language was, but I'm just kind of curious what his and his wife's love languages are. We've done a total episode on it, but...
Well, we did a total episode not on love languages, but love languages and the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, we literally went through all of the love languages and talked about how that can come into play in the bedroom, and we have realized how much it really matters. So go back and listen to that if you haven't already heard it.
Yeah.
It can really improve your sex life, too.
And maybe you're just having some issues in your marriage or relationship, maybe whether it's about sex or you just communication or some other area of your marriage, and you say, you know what, I just need some marriage coaching. I need somebody to evaluate what the situation is and give me some action steps and kind of put my feet to the fire to move forward and progress in some of these areas. That's one of the things that Lysandra and I do with family meetings. So if marriage coaching is something that you're interested in, you can find that and start the process at familymeeting.org/shop. And you have a couple different options there. You have an option to be coached by just Lysandra, just myself, or the 2 of us together. Select that, and that will get the ball rolling to get that coaching session started.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get into our discussion for today because we're going to talk about a family mission statement. Many organizations, actually probably most organizations, have mission statements. It is very important to keep the right values in front of people's minds and eyes. But why would we want to have a mission statement in our family? So we're going to kind of talk about that to start with here. And here's one thing to kind of think about. A mission statement is wise because it provides clarity and direction and purpose. both for individuals and organizations and families.
Yeah.
A mission statement can guide the responsible use of resources. And I think about the episode that we did, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, about how we're spending our time and what truly matters, and keeping that skull on your desk.
Yeah, which is super creepy.
It's so creepy, but go back and listen to the episode if you haven't, and you'll understand what we're talking about.
I do not recommend it. I mean,
the episode or the skull?
The episode's great. I just think you're crazy when you're thinking about, you know what I really want to have around the house is a human skull.
Yeah, I'm not into like skeletons and all that stuff. Like, a lot of people love that, and that's not me.
Yeah.
But this serves a different purpose. But anyway, thinking about that, like, if you have this mission statement, it can kind of do the same thing for you. It can help you think about how you're spending your resources. And of course, our most valuable commodity in life is time.
Yes, it is time. That would be episode 242. How are you spending your life?
Okay.
So you can go back and check that out. 242.
Yep. But I think maybe that episode would be a good one to listen to before this one. And because all of that's going to be fresh in your mind when you're thinking about your mission statement and what's actually important to you, because that is what is helping you create the mission statement, is thinking about what's important to you. But time is not the only resource we have.
No.
We have a lot of other resources. We have money. We have stuff. We have so much stuff in America.
Talents, abilities.
Yeah, we have a lot of resources. And I want us all to kind of think about this verse in 1 Peter 4:10, because followers of Jesus are encouraged, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. And this is specifically talking about gifts and talents that we are given from the Lord. But I think it can absolutely go to apply to, or we can use this principle with our time, with our money, with our things.
Yeah.
And so a mission statement can help you to think, like, how do I actually want to use all of the resources I have?
Yeah. Which is excellent.
Yeah, because sometimes don't you think we use our resources on things that don't actually matter because we're not really thinking enough?
Well, and I know we're going to get there very soon, but you know, it helps us, you know, spend money on the things that will help us accomplish what we want to accomplish in our life and family. So
yeah,
having that in front of us all the time helps keep that. And when we talk about a mission statement, ultimately it should aim to glorify God.
Absolutely.
Think about 1 Corinthians 10:31, where Paul writes, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God." And ultimately, that is what it's about. And so that is basically the baseline for what our mission statement ought to be. But the mission statement's kind of going to be specifically what does that look like in our family? Mm-hmm. How do we accomplish that in our family? But that is to be the main focus and the main drive for what we're doing.
Yeah. If you don't have a target, then what are you shooting your arrows towards? They're just going everywhere. But there are a lot of reasons why a mission statement can be beneficial. And one of those reasons is that it provides direction and focus. A mission statement acts like a compass, guiding decisions and actions toward a unified goal. And you think about this in a big organization.
Do you actually know how to use a compass?
Yeah, you open it and it points north all the time.
Yeah, but how does that help you?
So, like, if I wanted to go south, I would go opposite of the north.
But do you know what south is?
What?
Do you know what south is?
Opposite of the way that the compass is pointing, because the compass points north.
Then how do you know where west and east are?
It's on the right and left.
Okay, just curious.
I feel like I'm being tested and, like, you don't believe in me with my compass usage.
Have you ever used a compass?
No, but I learned about a compass in school, in elementary school. And I very vividly remember the picture of the compass on the workbook.
So is it talking about like the map compass, or is it talking about the math compass?
Oh, yeah, like
with the pencil and the pointy
compass.
metal thing?
Right, I kind of forgot about that. The compass and the protractor, right?
Yeah, so which compass is it?
It's got to be the map compass because it points north.
Okay,
Keeps
great.
you on the right path. And that's what a mission statement is trying to do. Now I have to try to think about what I was going to say, because you totally just took me off the rails talking about how to use a compass.
Well, you need a compass to get back on.
All right, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Did you think that I could answer your questions about a compass?
I was just curious if you knew how to use one, and if you ever used one, because you're not,
What?
You're not an outdoorsy type person.
I love the outdoors. My favorite thing in the world is hiking.
I know, but it's like you follow a trail. I had to help you when you were in another state. I had to look at Find My and the map and tell you which direction to go to find the trail.
Oh, that was the most miserable trail. But that was a trail that had no markings and everything looked the same. That was outside of Las Vegas. It was in Nevada, and it was like there was no big trees. All I could see, like there was one mountain, and it was like, okay, I know that the mountain is over there, so the car is over there. But trying to find that thing was impossible.
That's when you needed a compass.
I needed a compass for
real. And many of you with your families are just like Lysandra on the trail.
Yeah.
You're not exactly sure where to go. You need a compass to point you in the right direction. That's what the mission statement is.
Thank you.
It provides that direction and focus.
Yes, it does, which is not what you have provided in this episode.
I just did.
He's bringing it back around, people. But I love this about a unified goal, because you think about a big, giant organization.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of people, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of people, and everybody has their own agenda.
Oh, totally.
So how do you keep a big company organized and keep everybody going down the same path and make sure that the things that people are pursuing in the business are all going towards the same direction of what the leadership or the CEO or whatever is? That's really the goal. And this provides that. The mission statement provides that. It keeps you unified.
Yes. And as one of the founders of the Pastors Connection Network, we do this for pastors and churches as well, as we help to have them figure out what their mission statement is specifically for their church and how they can organize things around that. Because even in a church, it's like you get people who are so focused on whatever their pet ministry or project or program is that they forget, hey, no, it's all about this main thing, and everything that we're doing is directed towards this main thing that we're supposed to be accomplishing.
That's right. And the mission statement is helping to ensure that everyone's aligned and working towards the same common purpose. And when that happens, it really does change like efficiency, coherence. It's super, super important. And even in a family, it can be really important to help everybody remember this is the direction we're going. This is the goal. We have written down here Netflix's.
Yeah,
Netflix mission statement.
Those of you who don't know what Netflix is, yeah, I don't know how you found this podcast, because
yeah. But here's their mission statement: to entertain the world. I wonder if it's more than that. If that's just an excerpt out of it, or if is that the whole thing? To entertain the world.
I mean, there's an easy way to find out.
Find that out, baby. Look it up real quick. Tell me what Netflix's full mission statement is. How do you say Netflix with an apostrophe S? Netflix's. Just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he's going to look that up, because all that we have in our notes is to entertain the world.
That's what it is.
That's
entertain the world.
thing.
This encompasses their commitment to providing a wide array of entertainment options, including movies, TV shows, and documentaries, to a global audience through their streaming service.
So that is the mission statement that directs them to content creation and global expansion strategies and everything.
Okay, so this is a little fascinating. This is more than we were planning to look into this whole Netflix situation, but I think this is fascinating. So obviously they have the mission statement, which is to entertain the world. Here's a more detailed look at what this mission entails, right? So you have your mission statement, and then how it's going to unfold, is going to be different. So talks about global reach. Netflix aims to entertain over 500 million people in over 190 countries and 50 languages. Diverse content, right? Because different people like different things.
Oh, yeah.
So like if we're going to entertain the world, we got to be diverse. They offer a wide selection of entertainment across various genres and for different age groups and tastes. focus on quality, strives to provide high-quality video content and an uninterrupted ad-free viewing experience. I really screwed that up with the Mike Tyson fight, but whatever. Innovation and adaptability. They continuously improve their streaming service, user interface, content offerings to meet the evolving needs of their customers and the changing media landscape. Customer satisfaction. Netflix prioritizes providing innovative and satisfying experiences for its customers. And then the last thing listed here is cultural influence. Netflix aims to create cultural moments through their content, influencing music, books, fashion, travel, and more. So like it's such a simple mission statement, but how that plays out gets very specific.
Right. The mission statement kind of starts it, and then what goes underneath that to make the mission statement happen. Which
is exactly the same thing it's going to be for your family. Like you're going to have this mission statement, and it's going to guide how you interact with each other, what you choose to do, what you choose to spend money in, all that stuff. So as we talk about the fact that it not only provides direction and focus, it enhances decision-making and strategic alignment. So we shared those things about Netflix with you. With a clear mission, organizations can make decisions that are consistent with their core values and objectives.
That's what's important.
This alignment helps in prioritizing initiatives, allocating resources effectively, and maintaining focus amidst challenges. So, it helps you decide, okay, should we do this or not do this? Mm-hmm. Should we go here or not go here? So like one of the things that's important to us, and we're going to get into a mission statement, but kind of one of the main goals Lysandra and I have is to raise adults who can go out and make an impact in the world.
Yes.
And so that's never been our official statement. It's been kind of like our goal and our direction, and we'll maybe get into that. But because we understand that, like there's certain things we're going to be involved in, certain things it's just like, that's not going to help us accomplish what we want to accomplish.
Right. So that gets put to the wayside.
Yeah.
Yep. Because it's got to be about your core values. Like that's got to be the main point of your mission statement too.
Which goes back to episode 242 that we mentioned just a couple of minutes ago.
Right. So your mission statement is also going to establish a foundation for growth and evaluation to see like, okay, it kind of gives you something, helps you with metrics, right? Like, Are we accomplishing the mission? Are we doing a good job of this thing that we want to do? So it's going to provide basically your benchmark against which progress can be measured. So it's going to aid in setting priorities, evaluating performance, ensuring growth initiatives are aligned with the organization's core purpose. But even in our families, it can help with this, right? Yeah. So we can say like, all right, are we helping our children to grow in the direction that we want them to go? Are we helping each other grow in that direction? Are we, and it sounds like evaluating performance. It kind of sounds like conditional love, right? Performance-based love, but that's not what we're talking about at all. We do want to help our children to perform well, but it's not about a performance. It's about them being able to hold a job, make friends, make an impact for Jesus. It's about all those things. Be kind to one another. Have an emphasis on family in their own lives and all those things. So really, a mission statement is important because it serves as like a guiding light.
Yeah.
It's going to help the decisions. It's going to help the actions. It's going to help you to be more purposeful, which can help you achieve more and make a greater impact in the world.
So if you're going to be creating a Christian family mission statement, it's a meaningful way to define your family's purpose, values, and the legacy you wish to build together. Mm-hmm. So we talked about that guiding compass, and it helps you to align daily actions with faith-based principles. So we want to give you several examples to inspire you.
It's funny because you talked about the legacy, right? The legacy that you want to leave behind.
Yeah.
And I have turned 40 this year. And in my 40th year,
As we saw from the last episode, that makes you a very old woman.
very old woman now. It's interesting because I do kind of feel like I have become more, I'm trying to think of what the word is. Like, I'm like very like stoic, and I'm like thinking about like what really matters in life and what are we actually here for. And
You never thought about that before?
no, but way more now, way more. And it's deeper, and it's more like, wow, it's more profound. Maybe.
You've kind of fallen into your parents' mold of talking about death all the time.
Yeah,
It goes back to the human skull thing.
Yeah, maybe. But I have really been thinking about like aging and legacy, right?
You don't look different than you did when you were 20.
That's very nice. I disagree, but I love you for saying it. So when I think though about like legacy, right? Are we just a blip? You know, we of course, yeah, we are a blip. Our life is a vapor. I understand that. But like, how can we make our life more meaningful than the blip of time that we're here? And that is the legacy, right?
Yeah.
So that's raising the children. That's writing the books. That's having a podcast recorded that generations in the future can listen to. They probably won't want to because they're going to be like, what is this YouTube they're talking about? This is like such old tech.
Well, and it really comes down to all the people that you impact one way or another. So,
but what I was thinking about is my grandparents.
Okay.
Because they're dead and gone. And they've been gone for a long time. All four of them.
You sound upset about it. You're just like, yeah, they're dead and gone.
They died. I do care, but I'm not grieving their loss anymore. But I think about like the legacy of both sets of my grandparents, because both sets of my grandparents were Jesus followers, all four of them. And all four of them instilled the truth of Scripture into their children. And all of their children have done that to their children, which would be me. And now my cousins and our generation are raising our children to follow Jesus. And so I think about the legacy my grandparents have. Like, their legacy is living on in my children, and it has made an impact.
Yeah.
And we want to have a legacy to leave for future generations, to impact the world, not just today, not just in the present, but literally forever. How can we do that? Well, we need to have some sort of focus. We need to have some sort of mission statement to help us with that.
Yeah. And so to kind of get the ball rolling, for those of you who have never had to develop a mission statement, you never thought about it, which we've talked about, it's not just something that Christians or churches do. You have global secular organizations like Netflix doing the same thing, and this mission statement is what helps guide everything that they do. So let's give some examples so people can start thinking about what is important to them and how they might craft a mission statement for their own family.
Yeah, because I think just to start, like, okay, go ahead and do it. It's like, what does
it even look like? Yeah.
Yeah. So here is going to be the first example that we're going to give to you.
So you might as well put, there's spaces where it says family last name. You might as well just put our name in there.
Okay. So if this was ours, which it is not, it could be by the end of the episode, but we'll see. All right. The Osterkamp Family Mission Statement. And here it is. We commit to building our lives on the foundation of love and faith in Jesus Christ. Through prayer, scripture, and service, we will strengthen our bond and shine God's light in the world. So these are our Christian mission statements for families, are what these examples are. So understand that we are followers of Jesus. He is who we are trying to look like, to become like. And so everything that our mission statement will be about following God. And that's the examples that we're going to give to you today. I think this is a good one. Here's the thing that I don't like about it. I don't like that it only says prayer, scripture, and service. I feel like so many other things could be in that list. I definitely want generosity to be in there, because I think that giving is something that is so impactful. Where we spend our money is so impactful, and so many people, that's like one of the last things they think about as a priority in their life.
Yes, and I understand that, but the mission statement is meant to be very simple, and go back to Netflix. Like, think of how short that is. Mm-hmm. Like, it's very simple and yet very direct in what they're trying to do. So the goal of the mission statement is not to make out specific lists. All right. That's going to, how you kind of flesh that out is something different and will be very specific.
Yeah. But then in that case, maybe you shouldn't even have this list of prayer, scripture, and service.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because then that list feels like, okay, then I've got to pick the ones that are actually really important to me, and that's not enough. Although those 3 would be in there for me.
Yeah, and I think this one's okay. But when you're talking about a family mission statement, this is more of just speaking directly to being a Christian, I think, not necessarily having anything to do with family. So
yeah, and we didn't write these. ChatGPT gave us some examples.
So all right.
So we did not write these.
What about this one? See what you like about this. As followers of Jesus Christ, our family's purpose is to love and serve each other, our community, and God.
I like that. I think it's really good and simplistic. However, I think it's out of order. To love and serve God, each other, and our community.
I agree with that.
For me, that's the order for me.
I agree with that. But it's pretty simple, and you're literally just focusing in on 2 things.
Love and serve.
Loving and serving, which is excellent. Now, how you're going to love and serve is going to flesh out very specifically every single day in your scenario. So think about it this way. So if this is our family mission statement and you've got some sort of conflict, like one of the conflicts we have in our house all the time is whose turn is it to do dishes? Whose turn is it to walk the dog? Whose turn is it to mow this section of the yard? Like, it's all about chores, right?
Yeah,
and so
nobody wants to be doing more chores than anybody else.
So we use our family mission statement as hey, we're here to love and serve each other. So by trying to do the least amount or really keeping track of if it's my turn or not doesn't fit into the mission statement of loving and serving. It's like, okay, dishes need to be done. Be thoughtful about what your sisters are going through. And if they got a lot going on and you have less going on, jump in and do the dishes. Like, so you see how you use your mission statement to then guide how you operate in your home with each other. And as is mentioned here, your relationship with God, community, and all of that.
I like that one. I like that one a lot. I also feel like this mission statement could be a weapon against our children.
No, not a weapon.
No?
No, it's a guiding light.
That's what I'm hearing. Like, weaponize this thing.
No,
let's make this thing useful.
You're sounding a lot like the Nazis right now, where it's like, just weaponize whatever you can. No, yeah. That's not the idea.
No, I know that it's not. I'm just kidding. But you could definitely use it. Well,
I could hear a lot of speeches coming from this.
They're not speeches, they're lectures.
Yeah.
And it's kind of my thing, so...
All right, let's do a couple more of these.
Okay. Our family is dedicated to living out God's compassion. Through acts of kindness, we aim to make a positive impact on those in need, sharing the love of Christ with the world. That's very, very nice. It also feels very one-sided, like one single focus.
Yeah.
About being kind and loving, which is really important, but... I
think the loving and serving is more on... Enough. Is more the direction we would like to go with ours. Mm-hmm. Here, this one says, we, the Osterkamp family, recognize that all we have is a gift from God. We commit to being faithful stewards of these gifts by supporting one another, giving generously, and using our talents for His glory.
Okay, so I see supporting each other, which is kind of, it's loving, right? And serving, maybe. Giving, I want giving in ours, or at least it to be able to be a focus, and using our talents for the Lord. So I like the 3 things that are there.
It's a very long, like, it's going to be...
It's too lengthy.
Yeah, you want it to be easy to memorize. So
and it is 2 sentences, but it's too lengthy.
Yeah, it's just a lot going on there. Mm-hmm. Commit to being faithful stewards of these gifts by supporting one another, giving generously, using our talents for His glory. I just think it's It's too much going
Too
on.
wordy. It's fine for me. See, if I was making our mission statement, it'd be a stinking paragraph and a half. I'm telling you. It
Yeah,
would
but
be a big old
that's
thing.
not a mission statement.
I know.
Once again, it's
I'm
a
just saying
statement.
it's who I am. I got to make the list.
Yeah, I know.
It would turn into a giant list.
Yeah.
You're going to have to help me on this. Okay, here's the next one. Our family, the Osterkamps, are committed to leaving a lasting legacy of faith. I like that. We aim to pass down our Christian values and beliefs to future generations, ensuring that our family's devotion to Christ endures. That's a very beautiful one. If you think the last one was lengthy, though, then that one would be too.
That's very lengthy.
But
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Leaving a lasting legacy of faith.
Yeah.
But I also feel like loving and serving each other should be in there.
Yeah. But here's the thing. If you love and serve, you're going to leave a lasting legacy, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So those are just a couple of examples to kind of give you some ideas about what you want yours to look like. And so what you want to do is you want to be able to teach your family's mission statement to your kids.
Yeah.
Which is, once again, it's a mission statement. Think Netflix. Hey, our statement is to entertain the world. Like, anybody can memorize. I read it once, and I have it memorized. I know what Netflix's mission statement is about, and now I know why they carry out the things they carry out. And so we want it to be simple for our kids. Like, no matter how old your kids are, it should be something that they can memorize. So if you've got toddlers running around, you can start to teach them the family mission statement. So if it's a whole long list of this and that, it's gonna be hard to memorize. So,
But they have the ability. I understand that that's not what it's supposed to be. But
yeah, that's not what it's supposed to be. And then you have the discussions about the specifics.
yeah, like what are the goals or what are the things that we can actually implement to make the mission statement happen?
Yes, like that's your guiding light, but how it's specifically played out is what you actually do in the day-to-day. So those are two very different things.
Which is where the lists could come in.
Yes,
we can have
exactly.
lists of how to carry out the mission statement, which is what I plan to do. Okay.
But you shouldn't need a list, right?
What?
You shouldn't need a list. It's just, this is the mission statement, and so whatever it is I'm doing or saying, like, does it do that?
Okay.
And if it doesn't do that, then
kick it to the curb.
we don't act that way. We don't talk that way.
Yes.
We're not going to do that. So it's meant to be a simple guiding light that, and this is the issue. So obviously we talk about the fact we're followers of Jesus all the time. And one of the things that has happened, since the Ten Commandments were given, is you have the guiding light, and then what we want to do is we want to complicate it with all the different rules. That's one of the things Jesus really railed the Pharisees on, is like, hey, you're worried about the specific list, and you've lost sight of what the guiding light is supposed to be. And that's true of our experience being raised in very cult-like Baptist world, where it was all about the rules. Hey, women, you've got to wear exactly this length of skirt. You've got to do these specific things. Don't do this. And it's more about the list of do's and don'ts than it is, hey, you're supposed to be a follower of Jesus who tells other people about Jesus. And then that dictates what we do. So we want to be careful about that in our homes as well. It's not about making our kids stick to a certain list of do's and don'ts. It's about teaching them this is the guiding light, and we use this to make the decisions that we need to make every day in our behavior, in our interactions, in what we do, what we give, so on.
All right. I understand what you're saying. And through the whole process of your extremely lengthy conversation there.
Sorry.
Monologue.
It's just...
it was not a conversation. It was a monologue. It was very, very good. But what I have learned through the process of it is I'm very pharisaical. Because I'm like, I want the list.
You naturally like the rules, and you feel safe in those boundaries.
Yeah. So
But
I
some of
understand
that-
what you're saying.
Some of that, though, is because that is your background, that is your upbringing.
And
some
some
of
is
that
personality.
is personality. Yes.
Yeah. So I can still make a list of things, but I can't focus on the list. I have to focus on the mission.
Yes.
Okay.
So you let the guiding light you, because, like, say you make a list, right? Well, the kids age, so that list is constantly got to change.
Yeah.
Like, the rules we had for the kids when they were 3 are not the rules we have when they're 18, 19. So rather than focusing in on the list, you focus in on the guiding light, because whether they're 3 or 19, the guiding light will direct them.
Yes.
So
I understand
that's the thing.
But my list was not going to be rules. My list was going to be like service, generosity, prayer, scripture, fasting, like those things. Not like rules, but like things that need to be part of your life to ensure that the mission plays out.
Yeah, but then you have to be careful it doesn't become about checking
boxes.
checking it off the list, right?
I love checking stuff off a list.
So, yeah, which none of this was in the notes, but I think it's a helpful part of the conversation.
Yeah,
to help people
it is a
understand.
good thing. It is a good thing. So I just want to point out though that I'm not the lecturer. You are.
I am when it comes to this.
Yeah,
I'm passionate
Own
about
it, baby. Own it.
helping people, and empowering people to live out their faith and their purpose.
Yes.
Without having to specifically dictate every little thing that they do. I don't think that's my job as a pastor.
This is your pastor's heart coming out, though.
Yes.
Bottom line. Now, it is cool. I think it's a cool idea to bring your children in on talking about your mission statement, which today is our family day. So we plan to talk about this at lunch today.
Yeah, and we'll get into that, when we get in the family meeting also.
Yes, we will. Okay, so now, Thomas, let's develop our own.
Okay. So
I feel like the listeners may get an opportunity to hear us fight for the first time.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
You're gonna let me win?
No. But it's about just having a conversation and figuring out.
All right, let's talk about it till I win. All right, number 1, you're going to want to define your purpose.
Yeah.
So
just let me explain this real quick.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of give you step by step how you can work to develop your own, and we'll kind of walk through these for ourselves.
Okay. All right. So define your purpose. What's the core purpose of your family? And how do you figure that out? So you got to ask yourself some questions. What do we aim to achieve? Who do we serve? What values drive our actions? What's truly important to us? What is our number one priority? Asking yourself these kind of questions are going to help you define your purpose. And that's foundational in understanding what your purpose is in order to guide the rest of the process of making your mission statement.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. When it comes to our family, what is it that you think we should aim to achieve?
So I have to answer that before I can say what our purpose is.
Yes.
Okay. What do we aim to achieve? We aim to achieve raising children who make a huge impact for the Lord in the world.
Yeah. And that's kind of my same thought process is, equipping them to impact the world for Jesus.
Yeah. And in doing so, we impact the world for Jesus.
Yes.
Like, obviously, we are
we
raising
have to do
our
the
children.
same thing. We got to model it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, because it's not like, our entire lives are just about raising our kids, and like we don't have to tell anybody about Jesus because our kids will. We're equipping them to do it. No, that's not what we mean.
Yeah.
But like as far as our family is concerned, that's our.
But for us, that statement kind of sums up all three of those questions of what do we aim to achieve, who do we serve, what values drive our actions. So, we kind of know that, and we talk about it all the time, but we know we're followers of Jesus. So even when I, stop short and I say, hey, my goal is to raise kids who can impact the world, like mentally, I know I'm talking about impacting them for Jesus, but you can make it as specific as you'd like to.
So when it says define your purpose, what would you say is your purpose?
That's
your family's purpose.
That's what we've done here.
Okay. So you are saying
impacting the world for Jesus, that is our purpose.
Okay, gotcha.
So whether that becomes our official, like, okay, and how do you impact the world for Jesus? You're going to do it by being generous, by being kind, by
Whoa,
being
watch it
loving.
with the lists.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But that's how it'll be fleshed out.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I know.
Okay.
All right. So not only are you going to define your purpose, you're going to identify core values. So you do this by listing the principles that are most important to you, right? So listing helps you come up with your mission statement.
Listing is like the best.
It's where you shine.
Yes.
So these might include things like love, integrity, service, faith, community. I know for like the Stanleys, we talk about their parenting book. Honesty is like one of the top things.
Oh, interesting.
In theirs.
That's good.
So
I never think to include that one. I always think that one is just kind of a given, but that's excellent to put honesty in there.
yeah, well, and it's like, it kind of guides all your conversations.
Which integrity, to me,
includes that also.
Is,
yeah, totally.
Honesty as well.
Yeah.
But and I like to. It's very important to me that generosity be like spoken, not just implied.
So what you want to do is you kind of want to narrow it down to 3 to 5.
And that's where
core values that truly represent your beliefs. So
that's where I have a problem.
So let's what would be
narrowing it down? Ugh.
What would be just 3? If you could just pick 3 that are your absolute top.
Okay, so let me just share with everyone. Whenever anybody's like, "What's your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite?" So if somebody asks me what my favorite color is, I'm going to be like, well, my favorite color to wear is black. My favorite color to look at is pink. My favorite color to decorate my home with is blue. Like, I can't just say what's my favorite color. So that's why this is really hard for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Narrowing it down to 3 to 5 core values.
So I kind of have my 3 in mind. I'm just curious what yours are.
Love, service, generosity. I don't know.
Okay.
I think I want to at least do 5.
No, just 3.
All right.
Just 3. 3 to 5. We'll stop at 3. You could do more.
Okay.
But for the purpose of the podcast and not being a Joe Rogan 3-hour episode.
Oh my.
So for me, love is up there.
So we both agree on the first one.
We agree on the first one.
Okay.
Loyalty.
Yeah, that's really important to you. Yeah.
So it's like one of the things we talk to the girls all the time is, hey, sisters first.
Yeah.
Your sisters are always going to be there in your life. Sisters first. Friends come and go. Sisters first. Even your mom and dad. Like, we're going to leave you, before your sisters, most likely, if nature progresses the way that it normally would. So sisters first. Loyalty is one of those things, and faith would be the other one. So those are kind of 3 there.
It definitely goes with our personalities, though, what we chose.
Yeah.
All right, so now you can gather input, and this is a great way to involve all the members of the family, which is what we intend to do later today. But hold a discussion, just a brainstorming session, and talk about, like, what do you guys think? What do you think is important? And gather other opinions from your kids, from your spouse. And as you do this, it's going to help everyone have a little ownership in the mission statement, which I think will make everyone feel really good.
Yes. Gets everybody on board.
Yeah.
So then you're going to take time to draft the statement. Using the insights from the previous steps, draft a concise statement that encapsulates your purpose and values. So once again, we don't need to list the values. We're using those to kind of help direct and draft what the statement's going to be. Emphasis on concise, right? Think Netflix mission statement to entertain the world. So concise statement that encapsulates your purpose and values. Aim for clarity and brevity, typically 1 or 2 sentences.
And your opinion is 1 sentence.
Yeah, the shorter the better, I think. It just helps you stay as focused as possible. So if just thinking things through, what would you draft as far as the things we've shared already? Obviously, we're going to gather input and all that stuff, but you're thinking it through right now. What's a rough draft mission statement that you would think of in your mind?
To make the biggest impact on our world for Jesus.
Okay.
I think.
Mine's pretty.
I'm really put on the spot, so like
Mine's pretty similar. I would just make it concise.
Less than that. I was like one sentence. I had to work hard to pick that one sentence. All right,
impacting the world for Jesus. So it's like 5 words. Impacting the world for Jesus. And then boom.
Fire.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to be on YouTube to see what in the world we're doing. All right, next you're going to review and refine. So you're going to have the draft, you're going to talk about it, and now it's time to review this, refine your mission statement. Make sure that it has the all of the core values reflected, and talk about it again. Here's where you talk about it again and get the feedback and the opinions. And are we good? Is this it? Okay, bam.
Yeah. And so when you're talking about, you've gathered the input and all that, you're involving all the family members. But really when it comes down to it as parents, like you're the one who are crafting that statement and
because you're leading the family.
Making it final because you're leading it. So you do get all the input and then you draft the statement. You're going to work to review and to refine it. And you can seek feedback and all that, make adjustments. And then you're going to implement and reflect. So now it comes time to put the mission statement into practice. You're going to incorporate it into your daily life. So if our mission statement is impacting the world for Jesus, well, we think about the way Jesus lived his life every day and the way he treated people and what he did. Okay, so that's going to dictate how we do things around here. So Jesus told us the 2 greatest commands: love God, love each other. And so, okay, what's the best way I can love God and love each other in this scenario, in this situation, in this interaction? So we have an opportunity with every interaction that's happening every day to emphasize the mission statement for our family. So whether it's going back to dishes, right, that we talked about, and I'm looking over and I'm seeing a sink full of dishes right now.
There's so many dishes right now, you guys. It's so gross.
But it's like, okay, what's the best way I can love God and love one another in how I approach even doing the chores that we have in our family?
Are you going to do the dishes today?
Me? No. But I did take out our bathroom trash from upstairs.
Oh, today?
Today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed you set it on the floor, and I didn't know if that was like a subtle, like, hey, take this out.
No, I was going to bring it down when I came downstairs, and I forgot it.
But I figured that's actually what it was. You forgot to bring it down.
I just forgot.
So I brought it down, took it outside. I took the garbage can out to the road.
Oh, yeah, it's trash day today.
Trash day today. And so even in the simple things like that, it's okay. My wife didn't ask me to, but I saw it lying there. What's the best way I can love God and love my wife in that situation is not to walk over it and then wait for her to do it. It's you're coming downstairs, you see it, you notice it, pick it up, just take it out to the garbage.
You also fixed the ice maker.
And so it's a simple statement, right? But it helps to guide all of our interactions that we have. So you're just going to periodically revisit, reflect, and sure. I like the idea of making some sort of like decorative, and maybe this is where you can get your kids involved that love art and all that. It's like making your statement that you can frame and put somewhere so that it's visible.
We have an art major in our house, so she better do something.
Yeah.
This is where she can shine.
So, family meeting tonight is to sit down and to work to craft your family mission statement. So, you're going to go back. We talked about the steps you're going to take. You're going to start by defining your purpose. All right. What as a family do we aim to achieve? What as a parents do we want to achieve? Who do we serve? What values drive our actions? Then you're going to identify those core values, whether it's love, integrity, service, faith, community, loyalty, something else.
Generosity.
Then you're going to gather input, right? And that's what this family meeting is about. It's about, getting all the input about each family member, what do you think is important? What do you think ought to be included? Just brainstorming. And in a brainstorming session, there's no bad ideas. There's no bad suggestions. You're just gathering all the information you can so that number 4, you can draft the statement and put it down, make it concise, make it brief, and then, as we talked about, review and refine. So I've got the draft. Does it really reflect the purpose, the core values, all that? And then once you think you've got it down, all right, number 6, time to implement it and reflect. You're going to put it into practice and constantly be reminding yourself and your family members in your daily interactions with each other about the guiding light for your family.
Thanks for joining us today. Please go and subscribe to the Family Meeting Podcast from your favorite podcast provider. And if you found this information helpful, please share this episode on social media and invite your friends and family to listen in with you.
To find more content and information Lysandra and I provide, you can go to our website, familymeeting.org, or email us at info@familymeeting.org. If you'd like to shoot us a text or call us, you can send a voice message at 904-257-3062. Actually, what I'm going to ask you to do right now is to text us with your family mission statement. If you have one, text it to us. If you develop one, text it to us. We'd love to read those, maybe even share some of those on a future episode.
Yeah, that'd be great. And we want to invite you to join us for our next family meeting as we discuss body language.
Body language.
He can't hear the words body language without imitating Ursula.
Little Mermaid, yeah.
But what messages are you sending your spouse? And this is kind of more, oh yeah, I got that message, baby. All right. No.
Yeah, I figured.
JK.
She's saying she has a headache.
I actually do. I really am fighting a headache this morning. I already told you that. Okay. But here's kind of the more of the focus of the episode, and that is, what messages are you incorrectly picking up? Could you possibly be reading too much into their body language? This episode came to us based on some things that a listener shared, and it was like, wow, that's a really great point. So we're going to share a tip that they gave us. We asked if we could use the tip, and they said yes. And so we're going to share that with you next week.
Thanks for joining us today for this family meeting. Have a great week, everybody. This meeting is adjourned. All right, family mission statement. What are the core values that you have personally? What is the great purpose that's kind of guiding how you do things in your family, how you interact with each other? Love to have those mission statements put right there in the comments so we can have questions and talk about them and chat with them and just throw around ideas together to help craft and further concise and our mission statements so that as families, we can be better focused on the things that are truly important and not waste the few precious years that we have with our kids under our roofs. So let's have that discussion and further in the comments there. Until then, we'll see you next time.